Hi, my name is Val. I'm here today to talk to you a bit about props in yoga. Thanks for joining me in this little area of my home that I've hijacked for the purpose of continuing an enhanced home practice when it wasn't available to go to studios for so long. So here I am. As I began more practicing at home, of course, I discovered that the yoga studios had a lot of the stuff that we used in the classes, and I didn't really worry about it at home. But now things have changed. Most of us are trying to embrace doing more yoga at home or starting yoga at home. What are props in yoga? Well, if you look up props, if you Google it like I did, you'll see that it's a verb to hold up, or a noun, an item that holds something up. However, if you dig deeper, other definitions include things like theatrical props that are used in that sort of setting to make everything seem more realistic. And that's the way I think of yoga props, not as something that props you up, but something that gives you a better sense of reality and more possibilities to create new things in your body and in your mind. And there are lots of yoga classes that don't use any props, and I love no prop yoga too. But there are certain other things that you can expand into that require the use of props and can really have a different experience that I very much enjoy, and I hope you will too. So without further ado, I wanted to get on to the main props that are used in yoga. The first, I'll just run through them quickly first. Bolster, blocks, or bricks, some people call them, a belt or strap, and a chair, and blankets. So there are 5 things that are really big. So let's start off. Let's look at bolsters first. Here's a bolster. This is the type of bolster you see in most of the studios. It's 26 or so inches wide, circumference of 26 inches. And it also has it's a diameter of about 8 inches. Not to be confused with this smaller one. You see here, it's a little narrower, same width, but just a smaller bolster altogether. Usually in a yoga class, when they're talking about a bolster, they're talking about this size. So that's what we're going to work with today. So I have 2 ways I want to show you how to make a bolster that you can use at home without having to go through a lot of trouble to get the real one. So the first way I'm going to show you involves the use of something most of us use, paper towel. So you need 2 rolls. And then you're going to grab a couple of towels out of your cupboard, bath-size towels. I'm always kneeling on a blanket because I have arthritis in my knees. And you can fold your blankets in half, and most bath-size towels, when you fold them in half, they are going to be 26, 27, 28, 29 inches, something like that. That's pretty close to 26, so that's good. So we'll take our 2 rolls of paper towel, put them in here. Roll them together. I've already rolled these once, and I can see now that I have to have both of them at the same level of flatness. Roll it around. And let's have a look. It doesn't look quite as big as I might like it, so I think I'm going to add another towel. So just put another towel underneath it and begin that nice, tight, compact rolling process again. And I can see now it's looking pretty good. You can grab it by the ends there. And I'm going to take 2 pieces of elastic that I have cut, but I originally used just elastic bands, but I've run out of elastic bands now, so I have this elastic that I cut, and I'm going to put it around each end. Takes a minute to get it on there, but that's okay. A little bit of this endy stuff hanging off, but that doesn't matter. And same on the other end. That's a pretty good bolster. Let's put it down by our other bolster and see how it looks. Not bad, pretty close. So that's the paper towel method. Put that to the side, and I'm going to show you the other method for which you can use either blankets or towels. So I have here, it's an old blanket. It's kind of that fleecy stuff. Really heavy wool blankets are actually quite good. Compactly woven cotton is also good. So you could use sheets here. You just might need to use more of them. Sheets are actually quite compact and heavy, which can be a good thing in a bolster. So I wouldn't hesitate to go ahead and use 3 or 4 sheets for this. But I had to go through a little bit of folding exercise to figure out what way I was going to get that approximate 26, 28 inches. And I eventually discovered that folding it in thirds was good for this. It came right out at 26. So that's great. So I'm just going to fold this in half again. And I'm going to begin to roll. And I'm going to roll tight. Just roll the blanket. And look, here I am. Feels nice, but not quite thick enough. So I have another one here that was also folded in thirds. So these were pretty well the same size of blankets, obviously. So this one too, I think it's a little bit shorter, but that doesn't matter. We're going to roll it tight, tight, nice and compact. You could roll another one around it, but I think this is fine just the way it is. Take a couple of more pieces of my elastic. And there you have it. Nice and firm. I'm just going to sit on it and try it out. Ah, feels good. Dandasana. Okay, enough of that. So there's 2 bolster options for you. Excellent. Now let's talk about blocks. So here's a yoga block, or a brick. Some people call it a yoga brick. And here's another one. You'll find, if you're lucky, you can come up with some wooden ones. So the thing is, they come in slightly different sizes and widths. and heights. So being exact is not that important. I came up with 2 ways of recreating a brick. One is using books. So you can see here, I have 3 books. They're hardcovers, they're old books. The Great Train Robbery is one of them. And I found that if you put them, the spines and the pages alternating, it led to more flatness. And then 2 elastics and 2 elastics. And that's nice and firm, just like a book. So that's one way you can have a block. Another thing a lot of people have in their house is DVDs. So DVDs are good. As you can see, a DVD and a block are pretty close. And if you stack them, I have 6 DVD covers here. You could put a 7th one there. And 2 elastics one way and 2 elastics the other way. And that's kind of like a nice block too. So, blocks, tick. Next we have a yoga belt or strap. Has a clip on it on the end that can make a loop or not. And you can see how long that belt is. Well, all you have to do to get a good belt is to go into your closet and find a scarf that you hate. And there it will be, your new belt. Sometimes you need to have 2 belts joined together. So just have a second scarf and you can have 2 belts joined together. And if you need to make a loop, of course, you can just make a loop with a knot and get through it that way. In yoga, we're always using blankets for various things to protect joints and to have a softer surface sometimes. So I usually have 2 or 3 thicker blankets. This is a really old one. I think it came from my mother's closet. It's got a really heavy wool weave. Lovely. And a couple of smaller blankets or towels. Sometimes you just need something a very low height for your head. Something like this also. So as promised at the beginning, let's try out the new props. I'm going to use this bolster. And we're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana. So here's the bolster. And I'm going to grab my heavy blanket. Put that on the end of my bolster. That's for my head. Then I'm going to take my 2 belts tied together, put them around my waist, and just give them a couple of ties. And sit on the end of the bolster. Grab my 2 blocks, put them under my thighs. Bring my feet together and put the belt around my feet like so. Lift up and unroll your back onto that bolster with the blanket for your head so your chin is pointing slightly forward. Lift your tailbone a bit and come down on the back of your sit bones. Adjust the height of the blocks if necessary. And tie up your belt. Roll your shoulders in and feel the support of the bolster as you listen to your own breath. Long, slow, deep, even breaths. And you can stay in this position for up to 10 minutes. And when you come out of it, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, engage your breastbone and leading with your chest. Bring your body up to sitting. Take your belt off. Stretch your legs out. Hands behind you and lift your chest. Inhale, Dandasana. Exhale. Come back to seated cross-legged. Thanks so much, everybody. I hope this helped, and I hope to see you on the mat, either virtually or in the studio. Physical distancing is in effect, and we are committed to keeping everyone safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.